What up, though? Glad here. Welcome to Boxing on 100. Want to shout out everybody who checked out the first episode, man. I really appreciate y'all. You want to know what I was just learned over the past couple of weeks? Because I really haven't talked boxing much with a large group of people. The boxing community is very, very welcoming and supportive. That's dope. I ain't know that. I ain't know that. People be so locked into what they doing, you don't really know. But very, very supportive. I was honored and blessed to see when I was on Twitter, Real Crunk Gym, Crunk Boxing. They were very active on Twitter. And when I was tagging people, because I was tagging like just boxing official pages on Twitter and stuff like that, along with some of my homeboys who follow the sport. And you will be seeing them one day on this channel, on this show, because you got former like actual people who've been in the gym, trainers and boxers that I'm cool with, that got way better insight, a little more detailed than I could, put it down. But yeah, so when I was like tagging them and all, like, yo, check out my first episode, Real Crunk Jim responded and things like that. And I told him, like, yo, I'm dead serious. I'm truly close by, very, very close by. And I told him my goal was to one day, just start shooting this show there. Maybe talk to some of their up and coming prospects on the show, just like dreams. You know what I'm saying? Little pipe dreams. You know what I'm saying? And they said anytime, pretty much. So I'm gonna take them up on that offer. I don't like when people call my bluff. Don't say yeah, pull up or anytime if you ever in town, because I'm the type that'll be in town and be like, yo, remember when you said? So shout out to Crunk Jim. Man, just historic. I watched something on Crunk boxing and like the legacy. I want to shout the channel, but I forget what it was. Just type in Crunk's boxing. It'll be the first thing you see on YouTube because it got tons of views. You learn about Emmanuel Stewart, his professionalism, how he resurrected fighters, developed fighters, the 80s, 90s run of world champions. It wasn't just about Thomas Hitman Hearns. Man, learning a lot more about George McClellan, man. That unfortunate turn of events. Yeah, so I learned a lot, man, and it took me down memory lane when I saw the original building over there. You know what I'm saying? So check that out. But yeah, man, let's get into this. Jake Paul wins by unanimous decision over Nate Diaz, and what I will say is dude is learning how to become a true boxer. He's learning how to set up his shots as opposed to just throwing shots. I think people were impressed with his power in some of the, the Woodley fight and things like that because he scored a knockdown. But I actually liked him better in this fight than any other fights he had. I thought he was composed no matter what Nate Diaz was doing as far as like grabbing him and rabbit punching him while they're in the clinch and kind of moving away. So like had like a weird side turn where he would just turn his back almost on Jake Paul. I don't know if he was trying to lure him in or was he really gassed. So it was just interesting to see that Jake Paul never took the bait. So he's becoming a little more seasoned in the ring on what to do and what not to do. He set up his punches a little bit better. Now, do I think he's going to ever become? I think he said by 2026 he's going to become a champion at some point. I don't see that. Stranger things have happened in not just in boxing but in the world. So you can never say never. I can just say I don't see it right now. I think the opponents. This is like the classic 90s rollout. Remember the 90s? That's how, I mean, it still goes on in boxing today, but definitely in the 90s, early 2000s, a hot shot prospect, not saying he's on that same level, would just get your run of the mill jobbers if this was wrestling. You know what I'm saying? The Brooklyn Brawlers, them type of cats. And he's kind of going against jobbers right now, especially those with no real boxing experience. I just found it funny. I get, Nate Diaz, his style, his brashness, he got a people's champ type of aura about him. So he's a draw. So from a draw standpoint, I don't think you could have done any better. But if you just wanted to pick an MMA fighter that could really box, though, I would have like reached out to Vitor Belfort, who really got hands, who can put a punch together. Man, Nate Diaz was swinging. Oh man, he was just all over the place. It was sometimes I feel like he was throwing a backhand jab. It was just weird. And anytime he threw a little flurry, the crowd got hype. And I'm just like, these can't possibly be stinging Jake Paul. He may have got him with one. I think it was like an uppercut. I think he hit him with 2 uppercuts in a row, like towards the back end of the fight, like maybe 7th or 8th round, somewhere in there. He caught him with a couple of uppercuts. But truthfully, this was a mismatch because Jake Paul, whether you like him or not, he really is trying to be a great boxer or a better boxer than when he started. You can tell he's putting work in the gym. Um, you can see that, like I said, he's setting up his shots better. I thought people were kind of like starting to light boo him because he was dancing, but I thought footwork matters, man. Like everybody shouldn't. I don't think everybody has the necessary skills to fight in the pocket. I don't think Jake Paul does. I don't think he should just stand there and trade. I don't think he has the skills for that in every fight. I think this is a fight. You use your legs against someone who wants to stay stationary and hope to catch you. When you look at the one and only knockdown of this fight, it was because of movement. It was because of movement. It really was. Like I show you again, like he stepped back and Nate was chasing him. Walked right into it. Walked right into it. So I think he's starting to set up his stuff better. I think he never really stopped attacking the body a bit either. Thought that was consistent. This process though is going to be a long process if he keeps battling aged out MMA fighters though. Like at some point, I was talking to my man Jimmy. Shout out Jimmy from Philly, one of the guys I was talking about who's like, I think he was a trainer and all that. He definitely be in the gym. Gotta have him on the show. And you know, Jimmy was a little bit more disgusted than I was just at the fact that this fight is garnered so much attention and that Jake Paul really ain't fought nobody that could really put pressure on him. And I think even me and him said, like, bro, if he's gonna do this route, at least fight over the hill like actual boxers. Like you don't have to fight somebody in a prime. I'm not saying I'm not even saying like battle Floyd or somebody, but just somebody you're like, okay, you could possibly really lose this fight. And you might learn how to be a better boxer in the process. You might learn some things about yourself. And you might pick up some things during the fight because that's what happens too. A lot of times boxers go against someone that's really skilled and you can and the next thing you know, when they turn around and they're boxing somebody who isn't as skilled as them, like, oh, he learned that when he was fighting Floyd and Canelo. I feel like Canelo head movement, the way, you know, his prime. I don't know if he's still in his prime right now, but prime Canelo after the butt whooping from Floyd, a lot of Floyd in his defense and then counter punching and attack. A lot of Floyd in there. You can't see it probably. I know this might be hard to really look, but if you pay close attention, it's a lot of that. Um, I can say that with a lot of confidence. So yeah, you just gotta do better than that. I like Jake Paul's attitude about this. I like that he's taking it serious. I like that he's putting work in, that he has improved on a few things. I like that he was moving around much more, using his athleticism to tire out a Diaz brother who don't want to move around at all. But champion by 2026 in a division somewhere, I a lot would have to fall in place. Like he would have to catch a champion. You know how he'll win a belt if he catches whoever's holding the title at that moment. That person who is holding the title won the title as like an underdog with a lucky shot or something. Like you know what I'm saying? Like like Evander when he took out Buster Douglas. Buster Douglas, he fought the fight of his life against Tyson. He wasn't really going to be anybody else of significance, right? That's how I can see Jake Paul winning. You can go against somebody who just took out whoever and put a name on it, but you like this guy ain't really that, and then somehow he manages to stop him. You know what I'm saying? That's the only way. That's the only way. So shout out to Jake Paul though. Listen, I don't know what the buys is or what the pay-per-view sales are looking like. I'm sure those numbers will be coming out quickly if they're not already. And if they are, if you know what the numbers are from that event, please post them in the comments because I want to see. I'm curious. What does a Jake Paul fight against Nate Diaz bring in? I'm just curious because I'm pretty sure they did well. I'm definitely sure they did well, but how well is what I want to see. Um, we're gonna move on. I want to talk about Miss Serrano. Miss Serrano had a nice one, man. A clear win. A clear win against Hardy, Heather Hardy. This is the second time they fought. It was pretty much like the first fight, but I think it was on a bigger stage, bigger platform for everyone to see. Got to give credit to Hardy, right? You got to give credit to her, right? She didn't quit. She was standing there and trading. Her mouthpiece came out. She apologized for it happening, like apologized to the ref and then apologized to Serrano. I'm like, what are you doing? Like, you way too nice right now. Get angry, get active. There was times where I thought they was gonna stop the fight. At one point, she was just bleeding from her head, which was wild. I don't even know. I was like, was there an accidental headbutt somewhere or something? Like, what happened? And she refused. She refused to go out on a stoppage due to punches and just her face looking disjointed, disconfigured, misconfigured, however you want to put it. Her face was jacked up, man. She looked like Heath Ledger's Joker. She looked like that. She looked why so serious. She definitely looked why so serious. I ain't gonna hold you. I'm not gonna hold you. Y'all know. I'm telling y'all now. You never gonna see me come on here to lie to you. She looked pretty crazy, but no, she did her thing though. She did her thing. I thought she landed some shots. She just what's crazy is when I was watching the fight, what I kept saying to myself is if these shots were thrown by a harder puncher, Serrano might be in trouble. She just was so confident and so impervious to pain when it came to Heather Hardy's ability to land a flush shot that will really do some damage. She just ate everything. She ate the jab, she ate the uppercut, she ate the body shots, and she never really slowed down. She boxed at her pace the whole fight. Like Heather landed a few good shots, but there was just no pop in those shots. And on the flip side, Serrano was just bombing on her. It was bad. I'm shocked that her corner didn't throw in the towel, to be honest with you. But if it seemed like, because they got a history, they got a past as far as her being a sparring partner and things like that, training together with them. It was like, no, we probably know she not. She gonna go out on her shield. And so, yeah, it went the distance. Serrano won very, very clearly. How impressive was it? I don't know. You're talking about a woman this was her final match. She was retired. I think she was either close to 40 or 40. It's hard to gauge how good Serrano was. She threw her punches. She landed what she needed to land. It's a little alarming that she couldn't finish her. She couldn't knock her out. She almost closed the show on a high note. I believe it was the final round where she caught her like with a thud, boom, and that was like the first time Heather truly staggered back. So Serrano, listen, the talk is the talk is you and Alicia Baumgardner. That's that's what the talk is. And if the talk is that, oh, you're gonna have to tighten up, baby girl. You gonna have to tighten up, sister, for sure, because Alicia got way more pop than Heather. Way more. By a lot. So if you trying to do that, yeah, nah. I'm just telling you now. Like when I look at the tail of the tape, man, and I look at the tail of the tape, is I don't know. I'm looking. Just look. Let's just look. When you watch this, you tell me what you see, man. Like when you watch this and you see like just I don't know. It's kind of wild. It's kind of wild. I ain't gonna hold you. When I see that type of stuff, I'll be like, is she really that? Is she really that good, or is it her level of comp? I don't know, but I'm tuned in. She's not gonna be able to do what she did against Hardy, bro. That's the nature of the business, man. I'm looking like it's just it's clear as day. Like take a look. Like, it was all right. It was all right. I don't know. I don't know if that's enough. I don't know if that's enough. I don't know if her trading like that with Alicia is gonna do something. Because let's be honest, Heather was a sitting duck. She never moved her head. She didn't have the best footwork, and I don't really think she threw or connected with the jab to any effect. Alicia in her last fight was popping that jab and setting everything up with the jab, keeping a distance, moving around through like combinations, really composed and compact. Like when I hate to say this, I keep bringing it up, but when Hardy was throwing her little combinations, like I've seen her, she did the downstairs to the body with the hook and tried to come up with a cross. Everything was so wide and slow that in the process of working her way up to the head, she done got tagged like 3 or 4 times already. Like everything was wide, nothing was compact, tight, and quick. Everything was slow and wide. That's a recipe to get your butt whooped against one of the best fighters in the world in Serrano. But Alicia Baumgardner is one of the best in the world right now too, and she's going to be much more tighter with her stance, much more solid. I don't think I don't think it's going to be close, to be honest with you. I could be tripping. I very well could be tripping, right? Now you're gonna, I know, I know I'm in here. Yeah, Serrano undefeated though. Alicia got a loss. She avenged the loss though. Like it's one thing to lose, but you avenge the loss. It's like, what are you gonna do? I lost to that person. Then I also beat that person, and then I beat everybody else after I beat that person that beat me. The one person that beat me, I got him back, and then cleaned everybody else's clocks. So if y'all gonna hold that against her as to her not beating Serrano, I would just hope that you guys got more than that. Um, I think from a technical standpoint, Serrano is a little bit more sharper and a little bit more clean. Alicia isn't a finished, like just, excuse me, a polished all around boxer, but she makes up for it with just sheer pressure and ability to close the show and ability to, keep the distance where she can hit and not be hit. It's very much like the Terrence Crawford school of boxing. He somehow finds the right inch where I can get all of my shots off. You watch a Spence fight because because we watched it after, my other passion is battle rap, right? So we had a battle rap event. After the battle rap event, we're watching and people are like, yo, how does he keep getting hit with the same shots and why, like, he's in the same distance? I'm like, no, he's not. He's in Crawford's distance. He thinks he's within his distance. He's not. He's within Crawford's distance and Crawford's distance only. There is no 50-50 split here on this distance that was created. This was all set up That's why if you look at that fight, and I hate to go back to that fight, but if you look at it, anytime he threw a jab or tried to connect with something, it was a lunge because he was out of distance. And you get popped and tagged, pop, right where I want you. That's what Alicia does really well. You watch that fight, her last fight, that's what she did. You know what I'm saying? She got caught, of course, in this boxing. She get caught with some trades, but I also saw her create distance to get her shots off at the right time with the right angle and at the right distance where she could not take a hit back. And that and in that fight, she did it the whole way. Did it the whole way. I thought she fought really well. I thought Serrano fought really well too. Again, I just thought Heather didn't really have much in the tank, and she's just not going to. Everything she landed, it felt like feathers on a pillow. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, that's really my take with that fight. I do want to see it. I'm curious. I'm curious how that fight will go. I'm picking Alicia, and it's not because I'm from Detroit. You know what I'm saying? I know y'all people. It ain't really because of that. It's really just because I feel like Serrano has a win against someone that's gonna. Well, not she. That's not true. But comparing, if this is your fight before the big fight, you didn't really work on anything, or you couldn't work on anything because she was so easy to hit. It didn't allow you to work on things you needed to work on. I felt like she could have won this fight blindfolded, to be fair. I think with Baumgardner, man, she's pressure. She's pressure. So I'm looking forward to that, man. Y'all let me know who y'all got. I don't even know. Do y'all watch the women's side? Because I watch all of it, man. That's just me. I ain't really picking sides. I just want to watch all of it. But y'all let me know what y'all think in the comments, man. Because boxing is healthy, man. Boxing is healthy. We got to talk that Canelo. And I got text. I DM somebody's like, "Yo, you being real disrespectful to the Charlos." I like them. I think they're good. I just don't think they're great. That's not a. Everybody can't be great in boxing, man. There's going to be some goods. There's going to be some greats. There's going to be some like Hall of Famers. There's going to be some good for their era. There's going to be, oh, this person was good in a 5-year span. Everybody can't be great. Some people are just, and you can still win titles and be a factor and be relevant by just being really good or good. Like, there's no shame in that. And a really good fighter can beat a great fighter sometimes. It's not like a knock. I watched both of them. I watched both of them for a long time. And when I watch them, I'm like, oh, they good. They some beast. But I never look like, oh, all-time greats right here. That's just, it's not the feeling I get. I grew up watching all-time greats. Y'all seen who my favorites were. Benito Lopez, Michael Carbajal, and Pretty Boy Floyd and Lennox Lewis. Like you see you see where my mind at with it. I think they're going to be at a table with like gold jackets, like sitting next to them. Nah, like I don't think no. So that's just my take on it, man. Y'all let me know if I'm being a little too harsh with the Charlos. I don't think so. I'm calling them good, and I'm calling them really good at times. So I don't know. But that's it, man. I'm out of here. Appreciate you guys for tuning in. And yeah, man, we got more episodes to go. So stay tuned. All right.